This is Eagle Owl, and today we're going to talk about Andrew Mukuba officially signed yesterday, the day before training camp. Also, Dallas Goedert want the ball more. And lastly, there's somebody out there that's giving Jalen Hurts his respect. But let's get straight into it. All right, man, before we hop straight into the topics, today is camp day. It is camp day, but I don't expect anything to come out. Maybe some media stuff, but they report to camp, and then Wednesday will be the first official practice. So we getting there. We almost there, man. So happy camp day for the players. Get your body ready because it's about to get real. And Eagle Eye gonna be on it. I like to get all the notes, so I'll be on it. So welcome to camp day. But again, nothing usually happen the first day. I will be shocked if something happen. Also, the NFL is doing a top 100 countdown, and Jordan Mailata appeared on the list at 69. I think that's hilarious. I don't think 68 players are better than Jordan Mailata. We talking about maybe the second best left tackle. If you want to put Trent Williams in front of him, cool. Or hell, I think he's the best in general. I thought 69 was just a little too high. But the NFL starting to recognize, and I think he just fall victim to where he was drafted. He was a late round pick, and he was one of those guys where maybe he made the NFL, but he turned into a superstar. Because I'm starting to see it now the more I do the content thing. Guys that's drafted in the second, third, fourth, fifth, and these espers got wrong. They usually don't rank them right because how Jordan Mailata don't have an All Pro by now, it's just insane. But again, congratulations to Jordan Mailata. We just gonna celebrate the achievement of being on the list, but they gonna recognize. Man. All right, a guy who they starting to recognize that wasn't a first round pick is Jalen Hurts. Eagle Owl been putting out a lot of content about Jalen Hurts because he's been a hot topic. But Dan Orlovsky, he had to give his 2 cents, and he just had to keep it real. But let me play this clip.
This is the quarterback you got to go through in the NFC to win the Super Bowl. You have to go through Jalen Hurts. Whether you think he's top 5 in the league at the position, top 7, top 10, top 12, whatever, you have to go through Hurts to win the Super Bowl. If we're going to constantly talk about in relation to the AFC, Burrow's amazing, Lamar is incredible, Josh is outstanding, but you got to go through Patrick, it's the same to be said for Jalen Hurts in the NFC. The conversation around where we rank him as a quarterback, no one's probably been more critical of him than me, and the play maybe has been up and down or sporadic. But whatever you think of him when it comes to where he is slotted and how much help he has, you have to go through him to get to the Super Bowl. He is the guy. Just like in the AFC, you have to go through Mahomes.
But when you really think about it, when there's Jalen Hurts versus Patrick Mahomes, he usually outduel him. Super Bowl, regular season, and those two, they starting to build up a rivalry. We'll see how long it goes, how many big games they play against each other. But Jalen Hurts is usually the winner of the matchup. And look, these other quarterbacks can't match up. Lamar Jackson can't beat Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen can't beat those guys. Joe Burrow can't. He had that 1 year he's still living off of. And that 1 year kept him in the top 3 forever. With all the weapons he got, he can't even get into the playoffs. But that one Super Bowl year they lost, he's just been top 3 ever since. I don't know, but shout out to Joe Burrow. But what I'm saying is that none of those dudes, when it's one-on-one matchup, they can't beat them. And the reason why I like to mention that is because if you're playing like the Cleveland Browns, come on, twice a year, of course your number's going to be inflated. But what happens where you play a team that matches up with you? That's how Dak used to get all those numbers. Remember, our division was bad at one point. They was calling us the NFC least. Dak used to inflate his numbers against us, definitely against the Giants and against the Commanders. And when you look at the season ended stats, you're like, wow, Dak really did some things. But when you really look at it like advanced analytics, what did he do against winning teams? What did he do against playoff teams? That's how we start judging these guys. What do you do against winning teams? Not the Arizona Cardinals, but winning teams. So that's why Jalen Hurts get left out, is because his stats not super inflated. He could have did it in 2022, but remember, we was blowing teams out and we sit guys. Even the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts could have had 3, maybe even 400 yards. But they like, nah, it's over. Let's sit out these last, 6 minutes or so. Let's be a little conservative here. We already beat them. And Jalen Hurts wanted to go in, and finish the deal. But, let the reserves get in. We blown them out. It is what it is. See, we do stuff like that. I think even this year when we was blowing out the Giants or something, we sat guys. Remember Saquon sat the Cowboys game. We really sat guys that game too. So, we don't inflate numbers here. We don't inflate numbers, but we really wanted to. We could. All right, so let's get into another topic, Andrew Mukuba. So, day before training camp, Andrew Mukuba is officially signed. So, all the rookies are officially signed. So, this is a good sign. I kept saying, once I seen, the second round pitch start signing and signing little by little, I'm like, Andrew Mukuba is going to be signed. I put out a video about that. I'm like, yo, he's going to get signed. But it's good to see he's officially signed with the Philadelphia Eagles. Can't wait to see him out there. That's one of the competitions I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. Sidney Brown versus Andrew Mukuba. Who get that spot? And best of luck to, the guys. Y'all know my guy is Sidney Brown. I like Sidney Brown since he came out of Illinois. He showed things his rookie year. I'm like, okay, if he build off that, he could do some great things in this league. But the ACL injury in a meaningless game set him back a little bit. Signed CJ Gardner-Johnson, had to play behind him. All I'm saying is that Sidney Brown just need opportunity. This is his opportunity now. And then you got a rookie, Andrew Mukuba. Young, hungry, reminds you of CJ Gardner-Johnson, feisty, can catch pitch, really smart. And that's going to be a tough battle. That's going to be a tough battle. But I look at both of them as the future. I keep saying I think Reed Blankenship is going to have a great year to the point we can't afford him. And I think it's going to end up just being Sidney Brown and Andrew Mukuba anyway. That's how I look at it. But we will see. I think those two are the future. And Reed Blankenship is unfortunately going to go somewhere else. Unless he take a nice deal, but I think he is just going to get to a point we can't afford him. Especially like guys like Nolan Smith coming up. And then you have Jalen Carter coming up. Do we pay, Ojomo, Jordan Davis? And I just think that Reed Blankenship is just going to be too expensive unless we see him as a core piece. But we'll see how the season go. We'll definitely see how the season go. Yeah, let's get into the last topic. Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert spoke about the offense, how the passing game took a backseat, but you'd love to see the ball a little more. But let me play this clip.
Saying yourself, you guys are incredible in the pass game. Do you think there'll be a little bit more of a balance this year? You guys kind of sacrificed last year. Do you think you guys will eat a little more this year?
Yeah, I think all three of us hope so a little bit, but at the same time, I think it's important that we have three pretty unselfish guys that, one thing we always talk about is make the most of your opportunities because you don't know when the next one's going to come. But at the same time, all three of us love to win, and we'll do whatever it takes.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. Dallas Goedert is basically a receiver. Of course he want to see the ball a little more. I would actually be more afraid if they said we did not want to see the ball a little more and just keep handing it to Saquon Barkley. No. AJ want to see the ball more, Devontae, Dallas Goedert. But I think there's going to be some adjustments. I don't think we run the ball as much unless the opponent can't stop it. But I think more teams going to come prepared to stop the run. And that's where Kevin Patullo going to have to learn how to cook in the passing game. You got some receivers. You got a tight end. You got a running back who can do some things in the receiving game. So, use your weapons. You got a lot of weapons that can do something. And I think it's going to be more passing. I'm not going to lie. I think it's going to be more passing. Just because I think people going to play us like the Chiefs. People going to look at that game, the Super Bowl, like, maybe that was just a one-off thing. Let's go into this game and stop Saquon and let Jalen Hurts beat us. I think that's going to be, a lot of people approach. It's like more of pick your poison. I'd rather Jalen Hurts beat us than Saquon, but I think there's just going to be some teams that just can't stop Saquon in the offensive line. So they could go in with that game plan, but it just ain't going to work. But there's going to be some teams like the Chiefs that slow Saquon down. We're going to see what we're able to do in the passing game. But that's all I got for you guys today. Hey, man, what do you think? How do you feel? Dallas Goedert won the ball more. Andrew Mukuba, Jalen Hurts. But this is Eagle Owl, man. I'm out.